Happy Menopause Awareness Month. That's right, October is Menopause Awareness Month. And boy, oh boy, are we aware, huh? All right, Gen X sisters, let's talk. We survived lawn darts and we got through skin tight jeans with no stretch denim. Remember laying on the bed and pulling it up with a clothes hanger? We made it through dial up internet. I absolutely have no doubt we can survive menopause. We just need some tips and tricks. But also, here's the thing, this is not about barely making it through like we're some kind of menopausal martyrs. This is about having a survival guide that works for what we need, not the garbage diet advice we got in our 20s when they told us to just eat less and exercise more, not the deafening silence we got when we reached our 40s and we started asking questions. This is your Gen X Menopause Survival Guide. Equal parts sarcasm, science, and our unstoppable, unmistakable solid gold energy. But you know what absolutely cracks me up about all this? This has been such a hidden subject. Most of us kinda sorta got the birds and the bees talk from somebody. We kinda sorta got info on pads and tampons. A lot of us got what we know from good old Judy Bloom and Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. And of course, let's not forget those super awkward moments in health class when they rolled in the big TV on the cart. That was fun, especially with boys in the room. But when it came to menopause, the thing that literally every woman with functioning ovaries will go through, crickets, complete radio silence. And then perimenopause hits you like a freight train carrying a cargo load of WTF, hot flashes that make you feel like you're suddenly a human volcano radiating heat at the most inconvenient times. You're in a meeting, you're at a family function, you're at a retirement party, you're trying to look all put together, and bam, you're basically a walking furnace. That's fun. Brain fog so thick you forget what you were about to say mid sentence. And I'm not talking about normal forgetfulness. I'm talking about standing in your kitchen, holding your car keys, wondering why you're there, and then realizing you were looking for your car keys that are in your hand. Yeah, not that I have any firsthand experience or anything. Joints are popping like a Rice Krispies commercial every time you climb a set of stairs or get out of bed. Snap, crackle, pop, except it's your knees, your back, and that weird thing your shoulder does now. What's going on? Night sweats that turn your bed into a virtual slip and slide. You wake up at 3 a.m. soaked in sweat like you just ran a marathon, but all you did was sleep. If you were lucky, your partner's freezing, you're dying of heat, then you're freezing, and you're up changing the sheets in the middle of the night like some kind of midnight laundry fairy. And my personal favorite, the rage. The completely irrational 0 to 60 rage, where 1 minute you're perfectly zen, and the next minute you're ready to throw hands in the TJ Maxx parking lot because somebody took your cart while you were looking at throw pillows. This isn't just getting older, girls. This is a full-blown hormonal roller coaster designed by somebody who clearly hates women. I don't know. And unlike the tilt-a-whirl that we got sick on at the county fair when we were kids, we don't get to step off of this crazy ride after 3 minutes and go get a funnel cake. God, I love cake. Anyway, but here's the good news, and yes, there is good news. There are real, practical, science-backed things we can do, not Pinterest wellness nonsense, not just think positive garbage. That doesn't work. We need real strategies. Think of this as your midlife mixtape. 6 tracks that you actually want to have on repeat that will get you through this transition like the badass you've always been. Track 1. So let's get into it. Strength training is hormone replacement therapy that you can actually pick up. Let me break this down. When estrogen drops, and it drops like a rock off of a cliff, so does your muscle mass and your bone density. This is not optional aging. This is your body literally changing the rules of the game without asking for permission. Thanks. That's why lifting weights isn't recommended. It is absolutely non-negotiable. And I'm not talking about those cutesy little pink dumbbells that weigh less than your purse. I'm talking about real weights. Start somewhere, 5, 10, 12 pounds, and build from there. Do squats that make your legs shake, deadlifts that make you grunt, push-ups that make you make the same face that we had when we found out Milli Vanilli was Milli Vanilliing. Is that a verb? I don't know. But here's what the research shows. 2 to 3 days a week, I prefer 3 or 4, of solid resistance training helps keep your metabolism revved up. It keeps your bones strong. It keeps you strong enough to handle real life. And it helps keep your mood more stable, which I'm sure those around us are very grateful for. And here's the thing, too. Strength training is basically like natural hormone replacement therapy. When you lift heavy things, your body produces growth hormone. It improves your insulin sensitivity. It helps your body manage stress better. And who doesn't want that? It's like giving your hormones a pep talk and a protein shake all at once. We're not necessarily trying to look like bodybuilders unless that's your thing, which is awesome in its own right. And there are plenty of middle-aged women and older rocking those bikini competitions. I just know I don't personally have that kind of discipline, but I deeply admire those who do. Most of us are just trying to be strong enough to open our own pickle jars, carry our own groceries up the stairs, and not break a hip if we trip over the dog. We're training to be functional badasses well into our 80s and our 90s, beyond. If you want to go on that journey with us, hit the subscribe button and the notifications, and come join us in Fierce and Fittish Club. The link is just down below. Let's get back to it. Track number 2. Okay, we need to have a moment about protein. Yes, again, another moment. Remember when we thought a fat-free Yoplait and a rice cake was a complete breakfast? No. Remember when we survived on lean cuisines and Diet Coke and wondered why we felt like garbage? Those were lies. Beautiful marketing-driven lies that kept us weak and hungry. I don't like to be hungry. In midlife, your protein needs are just higher. They're dramatically higher. Sorry, girl, your handful of almonds, that ain't gonna cut it. We're talking about 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal, not per day, per meal. That's like 120 to 150 grams of protein daily, which probably sounds like a ton if you're eating like a bird. But here's where it really matters. Protein is thermogenic. Your body burns just by digesting it. It keeps you full, so you're not hangry come 3 p.m. reaching for whatever's in the vending machine. It helps maintain your muscle mass while you're losing fat. And it stabilizes your blood sugar so you don't feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster every time you eat. So what does this look like in real life? A protein shake for breakfast with actual protein powder, not some gross chalky nonsense. Beans and tofu or whatever you like stacked high for lunch. Maybe a lentil soup that fills you up. Maybe another protein shake in the afternoon. I typically have 2 during a day. Or a tempeh stir fry for dinner that doesn't leave you prowling in the kitchen at 9 p.m. Been there. Think of protein as the baseline of our mixtape. Without it, everything else kind of falls flat and it has no rhythm. It's the foundation that makes everything else work. Track 3. Let's talk about magnesium, the unsung hero, if you will, of midlife that hardly anybody talks about, but everybody needs. This mineral is kind of like the Swiss Army knife of supplements. It does a little bit of everything. Magnesium glycinate, or magnesium citrate, can help with sleep, which is probably crappy right now for a lot of us. It can help reduce those hot flashes, which we know can ruin your life. It helps with anxiety, which is probably through the roof with everything going on. It aids muscle recovery after those workouts that we just talked about. It even helps with constipation, which, let's be honest, for some of us can be an issue at this stage. Instead of pouring that 8 p.m. glass of wine, which it's wrecking your sleep and making you feel terrible the next day, try magnesium. instead of the wine. It's basically the backstage pass for your nervous system. Wine o'clock just makes you groggy, disrupts your REM sleep, it dehydrates you, and it leaves you feeling like kind of like you got hit by a truck the next day, no matter how little you had. Magnesium helps your body relax naturally. It supports deep sleep, and you can wake up feeling like a human rather than a zombie from The Walking Dead. So, start with 200 to 400 milligrams about an hour before you go to bed. Your sleep should improve, your muscles will thank you, especially if you've been working out, and you might actually wake up feeling rested for a change. Start with a lower dose and see how it does for you. Experiment if you need to. Do not take this during the day. Don't overdo it. You are very busy and you'll end up spending way more time in the bathroom than you have time to spend. Track 4. Let's talk more about sleep, because menopause has probably turned your sleep into a complete disaster movie. Sleep is not just a nice to have anymore. It's not a luxury. It's where your body literally resets your hormones, repairs your muscles, and it recharges your brain so you can function like a competent adult. If that's your goal, you do you, no judgment. And menopause can absolutely sabotage our sleep. Thanks to tanking estrogen and melatonin levels, you might find yourself wide awake at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, mentally reorganizing your entire life, or worrying about things that happened in 1987 or that will happen in 2032. So let's talk about sleep survival. First of all, keep your room cool, like really cool, if that's under your control. Your internal thermostat is broken right now, so help it out. Invest in a weighted blanket. It's like a hug for your nervous system. And if it's cotton or bamboo, it doesn't raise your temperature. Make sure the fabrics are right for what you need. Check out something called a bed jet. That has been a lifesaver for me. I use it every single night. Get blackout curtains, because even the tiniest bit of light can mess with your already fragile sleep. And for the love of all that is holy, stop the doom scrolling at midnight. I know it's tempting. I know it's hard to give up. I know those videos of people organizing their pantries are oddly soothing. But that blue light is telling your brain that it's time to party when it should be time to sleep. Create a bedtime routine like you're a toddler who needs structure. Same time every night, maybe some herbal tea, the right kind, maybe some light stretching, some reading, actual books, not your phone. That's key. Train your body that it's time to wind down so it knows it. If you're still awake at 2 a.m., sweating and spiraling about everything you need to do tomorrow, that's not just menopause. That is your sleep hygiene begging for some help. So let's help it out. Track 5. Here's the thing about exercise in midlife. You don't need to become a fitness influencer or train like you're prepping for the CrossFit Games, which you are, very cool. You need consistent daily movement that keeps your body functional and keeps your joints happy. Think of these as little movement snacks throughout your day. Who doesn't love a snack? A 10-minute walk after lunch, ideally outside, some stretches while you're watching Netflix, dancing in your kitchen like it's 1995 and you're on MTV's The Grind, which, let's be honest, the best workout show ever created. I miss my MTV. Daily movement keeps your joints lubricated instead of creaky. It lowers inflammation, which is probably an issue right now. It helps balance your blood sugar so you don't crash at 3 p.m. It boosts your mood naturally, which is way better than relying on caffeine and sheer willpower. That, I'll be honest, I got the caffeine, I do not have the willpower. And here's a fun flashback. Those long mall strolls we used to do with our friends, those endless laps around the food court while we popped in and out of the Limited and Spencer's, that was actually training for menopause. Of course, we didn't know it at the time. Who knew our teenage mall rat phase was preparing us for midlife wellness? The point is that the key is consistency, not intensity. Move every single day, even if it's just for 10 to 15 minutes. Your future self will thank you when you can still get up off the floor without making sound effects. Track 6. Here's something truly beautiful about our generation? There are many things, but here's one in particular. Gen X women are the first generation to actually talk about this stuff openly. Our moms whispered about menopause like it was some shameful thing. Our grandmothers basically acted like it didn't even exist, which is just so sad to me, what they must have endured. But us, we meme it, we post about it, we drag it kicking and screaming out into the light where it belongs. And this isn't just feel good fluff. This is real. Women with strong social connections, they have measurably lower stress levels, better mental health, and even lower risk of heart disease. Did you know that? Community isn't nice to have, it's essential for survival. It's one of the very reasons I started Fierce and Fittish Club in the first place. Whether it's your ride or die besties from kindergarten you've had forever, your gym crew who spots you during chest presses, or this community right here watching this video and in the club together, you need people who get it. We all do, especially now. People who understand that some days you feel like you could conquer the world, and other days you cry because you can't find your reading glasses that are probably on top of your head. Mine are actually right here. Find your people. Join online communities like Fierce and Fittish Club. Start conversations with other women going through this. Share your wins, your struggles, your ridiculous moments. It's bonding. We're all figuring this out together. And there's power in numbers and education. So there it is, my friends. That is your complete Gen X menopause survival guide. Lift heavy things regularly. Eat protein like it's your job. Take your magnesium like the miracle supplement that it is. Protect your sleep like your life depends on it, because it does. Move your body daily, even if it's just dancing to your old CDs, if you still have any. And stay connected to your people. We grew up with hip hop and grunge, making mixtapes with lots of love, and absolutely terrible diet advice that pretty much nearly killed us. But we're still here, we're stronger, we're louder, we're wiser, and we're more resilient than we've ever been. Menopause is not the end of our story, it's just the B-side that's making our second act even more interesting. And I say we make this one hell of a comeback tour. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, what is your menopause survival kit? What's it looking like? Drop your hacks, your wins, your horror stories, or just that symptom that came along that made you say, what in the actual hell is happening to my body and my brain? Because the more tools we share, the better this ride is going to be for all of us. And hey, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button like it owes you money. This is the channel where Gen X women get fierce, get fit-ish, and never ever settle for anything less than what we deserve. Because we might be the forgotten generation, but we're not forgetting about ourselves.